Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading for the month of January or whenever this video finds you. I like to start our readings off with a little bit of Palo Santo. You don't have to be here in the presence of the smoke or the smell. Thank you, sacred Palo Santo tree. Thank you for helping us to raise our energy, raise the energy of our environment. I don't know if you watched the reading for your sign for 2026. I did a reading for all of the signs and I spoke to you as well, Capricorn. This video is going to be a bit of an extension to that reading. So you'll have to let me know down below if you resonated with that one, with this one, or the both of them. If you're new here, welcome in. Hi, I'm Jenny. I am a shamanic healer. I'm a retreat host, a women's coach, and I like to do these videos here on YouTube. And Capricorn, happy birthday season for those of you who are January Capricorns. Happy solar return to you. Let's see, what is the primary energy for the Capricorn collective for January 2026? I can't even believe that. Somebody made a post, a meme or something on Facebook, and it was like, somebody just said 30 years ago, and my mind went to 1970. And then I realized they were talking about 1994. I was like, oh, holy crap, the 90s were 30 years ago, you guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. Here we are, 2026. And yeah, we're more than a quarter of a century through the year, or through the decade rather, which is the decade. Oh my gosh, the century. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What is the primary energy for Capricorn? Maybe you're feeling this nostalgic energy as well. So for January, what I'm getting for you is auric field as your primary energy. So what that tells me is that energy hygiene is going to be a major area for you to focus on in the month ahead, okay? What is energy hygiene? Well, it's different for all of us. There's lots of different ways to cleanse, ground, and protect your energy. To me, energy hygiene is 3 steps. Cleansing your energy, grounding your energy, protecting your energy. I'm looking over here because this is where I carry a lot of my tools when I do shamanic healing sessions and things like that. And over here, I've got some sage, I've got bells, I've got rattles, I've got Palo Santo, I've got some salt water. There's lots of different ways you can even use visualization, cold water, you could do polar plunge, things like that. There's lots of different herbs that you can use as well. I just use sage because I have a strong relationship with grandmother sage. Agua de Florida is my favorite. I just put it in a little spray bottle and spray it around. Agua de Florida is like the South American version of the North American sage. So just whatever you resonate with. But if auric field is being called for you to focus on, then what this tells me is that you could be affected by other people's energy. You could be absorbing other people's energy. You could be feeling other people's energy and confusing it as your own. And there could be an opportunity here for you to work up some protection as well. We are all divinely guided and protected, but it doesn't hurt to call in a little extra protection. Sometimes people like to visualize like a cloak going over them, or like a bubble, an orb of protection, or a shield, or whatever resonates best with you. The most important part about any type of energy practice is that it does resonate with you. If you don't resonate with it, then it's just not going to be effective. So work through trying a couple different practices if you don't have one, to see which one feels the best to you, and make that a part of your day to day. You know, I have a mentor who once told me, Jenny, if I could teach you anything, it would be to manage your own energy. And I was like, wow, okay, well, I'm paying you a lot of money. And I think energy hygiene is something I can figure out on my own. And all these years later, I realized how right she was. I just came in, I took a break in between filming videos, and I went out and I went to visit my chickens. And that's very grounding, okay? It's very grounding. And when I went out there, my husband reminded me that I had bought a rattle. There was a Boxing Day sale at one of the crystal shops, and I got this nice rattle. It's really soft. I have a lot of really loud rattles, like really... Those are kind of hard rattles, and this one's kind of a little bit of a softer but still hard rattle. But this other rattle that I got is very soft. It's like, I left it out there. But anyways, So I went out to the chicken coop. That helped me ground my energy, being with the chickens and just taking my time outside in nature. And then I came in and I cleansed my energy. I used the rattle. I was like, oh yeah, I got that rattle. Thanks for reminding me. I left it in the truck. And I just rattled all the way around my body, around my energy field, rattle, rattle, rattle. And then for me, I like to build up some chi and create a bit of a bird cage around my body for protection. That's just one way. There's lots of different ways that you can do energy hygiene, but again, this says it's time to call in energy protection to shield, clear, and strengthen your aura, okay? I'm going to pull a few more cards here. This is the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle by Kelly Smith. This is my favorite deck. I call it my tough love deck because sometimes it calls us on our shit. It's also my OG deck because I've used it the longest. I've used it the most. And I will do an extended reading today. And when I get into the extended reading, I'll pull some cards from the Raise Your Vibration Oracle by Kyle Gray, as well as the Finding Inner Peace Oracle. That one's by Olivia Burke. I always forget because it's in fancy handwriting and you can't quite see it. It's very subtle on the box there, but I feel like it's a good idea to look at those things as we head into the new year. We're still in the number 9 energy because nature's new year doesn't come until the spring, right? So your primary energy is auric field. Let's see if we can find out a little bit about any challenges that Capricorn may experience in the month ahead, please. What can you tell me about any challenges? And as always, Capricorn, if this video is not resonating with you, just leave it for someone else. These are collective readings. Lots of people watch these videos, and if it's not resonating for you, then it's just not meant for you. You can check out the other areas of your chart, your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising, your Venus, or anywhere else that you feel called to check for. And of course, if you're like me, you might want to be cross-watching as well. I like to watch for my loved ones too, to see how these messages are affecting them. If this is resonating for you, though, you'll know. And the card that I'm getting in terms of your challenge is going to be trust and forgiveness. Now, I'm not surprised that this card is coming out just after the holidays. The holidays can be a loving, joyful, happy time, sure. But the holidays can also be a super triggering time for so many of us, right? We can see family members that we haven't seen in a long time, and we're supposed to act like everything's cool even though we only see these people like once a year or talk to them once a year. Or we feel obligated to stretch ourselves really thin in terms of buying gifts for people that we hardly talk to all year long just because they're blood. You know, sometimes we fall into old patterns of people pleasing, sweeping stuff under the rug, dimming to fit in. We lack boundaries over the holidays. Sometimes we give in to the temptations. There's an excessive amount of food and drinks, sugar, noise. It can be a really, really challenging time. So what this trust and forgiveness card is telling me is that there could have been some triggers that have popped up for you in December. And in January, you're sort of processing them. And this is saying that it's time for you to let down your guard and learn to trust again. So those relationships that you were unsure of, the ones that have been the most triggering, the ones that have been shaking you up a little bit, I want to remind you that everyone's just mirrors for us, right? We're all mirrors for one another. And the trust and forgiveness card is saying, don't put the focus on someone else. Ask yourself what you're meant to learn. Ask yourself, what are these triggers teaching me? If this person is triggering me so much because they lack boundaries, is there somewhere that I might be lacking boundaries as well? Am I triggered by it because I know in my soul that this is an area that I need to grow? The trust and forgiveness card is saying that when you forgive others, you're truly setting yourself free. Forgiveness isn't necessarily about the other person, because when we choose not to forgive someone, what we're doing is we're hanging out in the energy of resent, right? And we can only get so far in our journey if we're hanging out in the energy of resent. Because when it comes to manifestation, we can only manifest whatever it is that we are a vibrational match to. So if we want to manifest more love, more happiness, more joy, more freedom, more experiences, but we're hanging out in that energy of, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they said this. And we're ruminating about it. And we're making a mountain out of a molehill, and we're feeling sorry for ourselves, and we're making ourselves the victim. And I can't believe this happened to me. Stuff like this always happens to me. Well, we're not going to be putting out a vibration that is a match to the joy, the happiness, the love, the freedom that we're calling into our lives, right? I have a forgiveness prayer. You can comment down below if you want to comment, if you want a copy of it. The 40-day forgiveness prayer, one of my great mentors taught me this 14 years ago, and I will always be grateful to her for teaching this to me. I've been teaching it to my clients for 11 years now, and it's really powerful. It's really powerful. It helps your soul to forgive their soul at soul level so that no words even have to be exchanged. No words even have to be exchanged. You know what you did. They know what they did. You know the part that you played. They know the part that they played. And at soul level, you can come into this energy of forgiveness so you can release the energy of resentment. And I'm getting fear. Your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve. So what is it that you're afraid of? I keep hearing the phrase dim to fit in. It's like you're afraid to be yourself around some people, maybe some family, even your partner. I keep hearing the phrase don't dim to fit in. I know that's from one of the Rebecca Campbell decks, I believe. Let's see, what blind spots does the Capricorn collective have around this? Or in the month of January as a whole, what blind spots does the Capricorn collective have, please? And when we get into the extended reading, I'll pull from those additional decks that I was mentioning, but I'll also clarify these cards as well. What blind spots? Okay, we're getting rejoicing. So, I mean, when it comes to blind spots, the rejoicing card is telling me that you've already learned how to make the most of life. You've already learned how to manifest. You've already learned that what you put out there really does come back to you. The fact that it's showing up in your blind spot is telling me that you might need to remind yourself of this. You might need to actually stop and check in and see, where have I been able to manifest something? Which, I mean, we all have. We all have. It's easy when we're going through it to get stuck in like, oh my gosh, I don't have what I want. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not with who I want to be. I'm not doing the job I want to be doing. I'm not making the money I want to be making. When we're going through it, it can be so easy to look at what's not going right. But when you take a look around at your life, you have manifested every single aspect of your life up until this point. And the rejoicing card is saying, wait a second. Stop and appreciate and celebrate how far you've come, because nobody else could have done that but you. Nobody else could have overcame everything that you've overcame. Nobody else could have called in everything and everyone that you have called in. And this is just the beginning. We're going into a number 1 year. This is a year of new opportunities, new beginnings. It's the year of the horse, lots of forward momentum. So make sure to take some time in January to really focus and celebrate how far you've come. And what will help the Capricorn collective to align with their highest path, their highest purpose, their highest timeline, their highest destiny in the month ahead, please? What will help the Capricorn collective the most? Positive life changes. So you just have to believe. You just have to believe in the opportunities that are coming your way. You just have to trust that they're coming. Positive life changes says positive life changes are ahead if you choose to trust in the process. So what are you choosing to give your energy to? Are you choosing to give your energy to the victim story This is not going to work out for me. Everything always goes wrong for me. This isn't happening in the timeline that I thought it would happen, in the time frame that I thought it would happen. You can choose to give life to the thoughts of, okay, look at how much I've already accomplished. Look at how much I've manifested into my life. Look at all of the positive changes I've made in my life. This is just the beginning. So many more are coming. You know, I've talked about this a couple times before. Maybe you've heard me say this. It's because, you know, I was in therapy for like 5 years. I saw a psychiatrist every single week for 5 years. I worked with a business coach for 5 years, and I couldn't believe when the same messages were being repeated from the therapist to the business coach. And it's all about how it's never our circumstances that determine our reality. And this isn't about like manifestation, law of attraction. This is science, okay? It's never our circumstances that determine our reality, because two people can have the exact same circumstances, but a totally different outcome. They studied this in twins, how twins have the same upbringing, the same lifestyle, the same appearances, and identical twins. They studied this with lots of different people, and it's never the circumstances that determine our reality, okay? It's always our thoughts surrounding our circumstances. And an example of that is, you know, if you were raised really poor and you're going through a financial struggle, it would be so easy to think, well, of course, I'm struggling. I'm never going to get ahead. You have to work your butt off to get ahead. Nothing worth having comes easily. And you might start to tell yourself some of these stories. Maybe these aren't even your stories. Maybe they're stories that you were raised with. And then those thoughts, what happens is our thoughts affect our feelings. And when you're telling yourself these types of stories over and over and over again, you start to feel pretty crappy. Like, let's be real, it doesn't feel good, especially when you're a bully to yourself in your own mind, right? On the flip side, if you started telling yourself like, oh my gosh, I've made it through everything. This is just one more hurdle and I'm going to get over it because I am a badass and I get over everything. That's going to make you feel a heck of a lot different. And then what happens is our feelings affect our actions. When we don't feel good because of the stories we've been telling ourselves, we are so much less likely to take any action at all. We're way more likely to procrastinate, to avoid, to self-sabotage. But then when we're feeling pretty good because we've told ourselves how freaking awesome we are, then we're way more likely to take action, right? You get what I'm saying? Ultimately, it's that action that creates our results, even if we're talking about manifestation, which we're not. But even if we were talking about manifestation, manifestation still requires action, right? So if you work that backwards, it's not the circumstances that determine the reality. It's the thoughts surrounding the circumstances, because the thoughts affect the feelings affect the action determines the results. Let's see if we can get one final message for the Capricorn collective for the month ahead, please. What final message will help the Capricorn collective? Recognition. Somebody deserves to be recognized for all that they do. And Capricorn, I kind of feel like this is you. And it's a master number 33. What's 33 all about? Balance. Mind, body, and soul. Balance. Maybe this is someone else who in your life deserves to be recognized. You did get trust and forgiveness. So that tells me that there could be someone here that you are meant to recognize, give the recognition that they deserve. You'll know, it'll resonate with you. If this is you, then how can you recognize yourself more? You got rejoice earlier. Celebrate how far you've come, and now you're getting recognition. So this very well could be yourself, but it'll be different for everyone. You'll have to let me know down below in the comments how this video is resonating for you, Capricorn. If you're new here and you're feeling into my energy, I'd be so grateful if you hit the subscribe button. You guys know how the algorithm works. If you like, if you comment, if you share this video with another Capricorn in your life, then the algorithm will show it to more people. And I'm way more likely to show up when lots of people watch these videos. I will continue this in the extended. We'll get some clarification on all of these cards. Plus, we'll pull some cards from Raise Your Vibration and Finding Inner Peace. I'm excited to see what messages come through for you for the rest of the month, Capricorn. I will see you on the other And please don't forget to check out your other signs, your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, or anywhere else in your chart so that you can put the pieces of the puzzle together to see what this month ahead is going to be like for you. I'll see you on the other video.